the Seattle defense become tops in the league. Mike linebacker, 52's the Mike. Bobby Wagner. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Enjoying myself.
Thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, the biggest game of any of your lives. No Super Bowl experience on your club. You guys are all going through this for the first time. How has that been, especially from a unity perspective?
I think it's been good. You know, like you said, we all young. We kind of going through it together. You know, I think we just taking it a day, day by day, and just really enjoying the moment. I think, that's one advice that I've gotten a lot. You know, just enjoy the moment. And, because you don't know when you're going to be here again.
Sure.
Hey, Bobby, I got to ask you, the weather has been such, and coming off that weather report, I know that 35 degrees, 31.
Scaring the hell out of you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to ask you about. I mean, it's so overblown. Have you ever played in a cold game before?
I mean, I went to school at Utah State.
Yeah,
so
did you win?
Yeah, we won.
Okay,
so.
have you ever prepared throughout the week of practice when it was cold outside?
Yeah, we were good. I don't think the weather's going to play, any factor in this. I think, especially as a defense, if it's snowing or raining like that, they're going to run the ball, and that's what we want to do anyway.
That's right up there with Marshawn Lynch not answering questions today. It's no fun. None whatsoever.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I got to ask you, what's it like at home with that crowd on defense? Because it's loud on defense on third down, trying to communicate out there. What do you guys have, hand signals? What do you guys do?
It's nuts. We got to use everything. By the end of the game, I don't got no voice.
I know how you feel.
Everybody looking back at me, and it's just like, we can be this far apart, and you're not going to hear anything I'm saying. So, it's great, because it's definitely an advantage that we use.
You do a good job, man.
You guys do a great job, and a lot of the publicity goes to the Legion of Boom. And obviously, after Richard Sherman's interview with Aaron Andrews after the game, kind of overshadowed the fact you had 15 tackles in that NFC Championship game. Are you guys up front okay with all the pub being on the back end?
Yeah, we okay, man. We understand that those guys, they Pro Bowlers, and they do a great job, just to, just control that, you know what I'm saying? You got great talent around you, and my job is just to direct that talent and, put them in the right position so, we can be the best defense what we're trying to be.
We got a pretty good inside linebacker on the set. Guy will probably be in the Hall of Fame real soon. We've had a real, we've talked about it. There's been an influx of some really good young inside linebackers, and it's a position that really hasn't been a game changer. Ray Lewis and you, but there's been kind of a void, and I think this young guy right here, a lot of responsibility in that scheme, as you talked about, particularly at home with all that noise. Done a great job.
Yeah, like Joel said, I don't think the linebackers have been getting enough credit all season long. Brian and I were talking about this earlier. We feel like your linebacker tandem is one of the tops in the league. I saw you guys play earlier this year, and again, all the credit goes to the front end and the back end, but I haven't seen a linebacker core who's so disciplined in their zone drops, has that kind of zone integrity, and who tackles in space as well as you guys. So obviously I'm just, kind of throwing some bones your way right now. As a linebacker,
enjoy it, man.
We want to throw you bone, enjoy it.
You know, and justifiably so. Both you guys are talking up the linebackers, and so am I. And Tim and I feel the same way. But I tell you, last week, the 3 defensive end package you guys had on third down dominated the game. I mean, dominated the game, and nobody's talking about that.
Yeah.
Now, talk about that front.
Yeah.
I mean, I think our front is, a little bit underrated. I think, between me, Bang, Mike Bennett, Cliff Averill, Red Bryant, Clem, everybody, I think they do a great job of, doing their job, but keeping a lot of guys off me, being able to, roam free just because of those guys. So, I think they need to get a lot more credit because, I know they ain't got no cool nickname yet, but maybe that's going to get us started.
You know what, though? I'm glad you gave those guys credit because Mebane is outstanding. We've done enough games where I go in and talk to the offensive coordinator, and they say, we got to get 92 blocked.
Sure.
This guy is short, quick, and thick, and he's never on the ground. He gets into that tilt position where he cock him up. He's unblockable. Tony McDaniel has played really good for you guys. And then another guy I don't think gets enough credit. You guys are playing great on defense. All the numbers prove it. Pete Carroll's a defensive guy. Talk about Dan Quinn a little bit, your defensive coordinator, because what I see is, especially when the short to intermediate passing game, more unity, more cohesion, guys playing together. You talked about getting to the landmarks. Talk about Dan Quinn a little bit.
I think he's just done a really good job of putting everybody in a position to be successful. I think he understands what everybody's strengths is, and he tries to put us in that best position, and he's done a great job of that. He made us the team that we are right now.
Quickly, the challenge facing Peyton Manning in this record-setting offense.
Just you got to be disciplined. He's going to come out and he's going to know what defense you're in. He's going to make checks. He's going to do a lot of things. But, I think when it comes down to it, it's just being disciplined, being where you need to be at every play, whether it's your gap, whether it's your zone drop, You know, and I think another big thing is just tackling. You know, watching a lot of film, I think they get a lot of yak after, yards after the catch. So, I think if we come and we just, make the tackle and they don't get more yards, we'll be fine.
Well, you got 5 football junkies up here that can't wait for that matchup to watch your defense match up against Peyton Manning. Good luck on Sunday. Stay safe and healthy out there, but most importantly, play hard.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got it. Later in the program,